Okay, I didn't actually mean to hit that. But...
Okay. He's blackmailed, but anyway, oh, I didn't actually see this, I guess. The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask-to-mask thing. Objection! Tisk tisk. I'm afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore. What do you mean? The victim had no proof the defendant was mask-to-mask. But you were the one who stole company secrets only 1 year earlier. But that was all over with once I was fired. But it is true that the fact I stole secrets was kept under wraps. Even so, there was no way for me to pay up now, a whole year later. Is that really true? What is it, Nick? The fact that Ron was stealing company data. I wonder if he would have had a problem if that ever became public knowledge. Yeah. Mr. Delete, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity as a company data thief was made public. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to do by bullying your own client? Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow. That's exactly right, see? Well then, feel free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer amigo. Little lawyer amigo? Yes. Now, come on. Provide some evidence to back up your assertion. Why would Mr. Delete want to keep his data-stealing secret from going public? Well, why wouldn't he? Because if he did, then... Because he didn't want because Desiree hates criminals. Mr. Delete, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. What doesn't? I think you must have been scared, very scared, of having a certain person find out your secret. Nope. A certain person? Miss Desiree Delete, the defendant's wife. Listen to me, my Desi, she's... Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Good dot. Good dot. Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delete stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. But if it wasn't his wife that knew that, then I don't know. And that is how this murder came about. Oh, No, everything is falling neatly into place for him. Don't talk about my Desi like that, or you'll be sorry. Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far. What do you think, Nick? I don't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes, see? Clearly there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. The motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delete? Come on now. Tell us. We're all ears. Okay, here we go. Is it going to play the Allegro? At the CEO's office. No, not yet. Maybe after he testifies. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. That's Luke Atmey. So Luke Atmey's back. Okay, so... But wasn't he taken into jail? Like, wasn't he taken into detention? I don't get that part. Like, if he was, or maybe this happened before he was detained. So, then if we assume it's Luke Atmay, then Luke Atmay could have killed Kane Bullard, but why? To frame it on Ron Delete? I guess so. And then maybe he wants to be with Desiree. I don't know. Suddenly I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. You're not gonna say what? When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead. If I hadn't been wearing that. I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided a similar testimony. He said that Master Mask struck him on the head from behind. Okay, so here's my new theory. Desiree was waiting in the CEO's office and knocked out Ron, and then framed it on him. Yeah, she's basically using him. So, I think Desiree hit him on the head. Luke maybe did steal the urn, but is working with Desiree. He said that Master... Yeah, so Desiree's working with Luke, and then to frame... She really likes Luke, but she doesn't like Ron. He said that Master Mask struck him on the head from behind. Of course. Since Atmay turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Ha. No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that. What are you saying? I really was attacked. Yeah, but not by Luke. We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Trite. Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. Okay, Allegro. Ah! Who was this suspicious shadow? If there were 1,000 of me, and if even one knew, I'd tell you, trust me. His dodging all of our questions is not helping us win his case. Okay, then how was the victim, Mr. Bullard, at the time? What do you mean by how was he? Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place. That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Forget it. Suddenly, I was hit on the floor. I can't do my voice that high. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. Your forehead? Yes, I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack. Do you remember anything about who hit you? Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit. So I think I was a little dazed for a while. I don't think Mr. Lead even grasped what you were asking. Yeah, I'd like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself, see? Maybe that would knock some sense back into him. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. What is that? He must have been wearing something on his head. That? Could you please clarify what you are referring to? Why, my Master Mask costume, of course. Oh, wait just a moment. Mask to mask? Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Master Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security. What? Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this. I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. It seems her little friend really loves to keep secrets.
I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. I mean, he's wearing 95% of the costume, so why wouldn't you think it anyway? That's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind? My 6th cup of coffee's staring up at me coldly.
At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony.
I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my mask-to-mask costume. Why were you dressed up as mask-to-mask? Why, because I'm mask-to-mask, of course.
What are you talking about? Mask-to-Mask's trial is being held next door.
Yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the mask-to-mask issue. So I thought I should go as him, just to be safe. Oh boy. Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I'd expected. Took a lot longer? What is he talking about? Press harder. What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body. Oh my god, why is he admitting to this? Oh wait, he already...
Ooh, what was that? Back up a second.
Yes?
You were the one that hid the body in the safe?
Well, yeah.
Inconceivable! Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? What? The answer is simple. When they take them off. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying.
Do you mean... Do you mean that Mr. Delete hid the body because he's the murderer?
Huh. So you're not as stupid as you look.
His metaphor this time was really obscure.
Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you?
Yes.
Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to your testimony.
Yes, sir. Uh-oh, looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. Okay, but then who pressed the button on the alarm? Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway? Well, because it wouldn't fit in a drawer. That's not exactly what I meant. When I saw that corpse, I kind of lost it. I thought, if they find his corpse, they'll think I did it.
I think you had a simpler reason than that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding the body.
I feel like it would take a little bit more than 10 minutes, but...
That certainly makes more sense.
Hold on. 10 minutes? What is it, Nick? I just had a thought. Under those circumstances, would you normally try to hide the body? And spend 10 whole minutes to do it? Under those circumstances? What circumstance? Oh! Yeah, why would he hide the body if he got knocked out? If he got knocked out, that would mean he would wake up. Hey, Nick, if you think his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were?
That's it. I'll take a look at the court record and present some evidence.
We heard this from Mr. Delete yesterday, didn't we?
There's not much in his testimony either.
I bet you he's still hiding something.
I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to draw it out of him.
I just hope he doesn't make things any more complicated. I didn't, press on this, did I? When you came to? Yes, I was passed out in the corner of the room. Do you know when your assailant made their escape and to where? I'm afraid I don't really remember. Huh? Once they hit me, I lost all track of what was going on. I think that's when they made their escape.
That's certainly a convenient story for you, isn't it?
It certainly is, isn't it, Mr. Wright? It almost sounds practiced.
I don't know why you're telling me. Okay, so I have to present. Usually, it's always on the very specific time windows. There are no fingerprints on it, meaning he was probably wearing the gloves when he touched the buzzer, or someone touched the buzzer. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record?
And what might this be?
The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m.
Oh, what?
If Mr. Delete truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way.
Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building.
Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them.
But, as it turns out, the guard never came.
That was nothing more than a coincidence. And the fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delete could have known.
Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delete didn't even notice the buzzer going off.
This buzzer is extremely loud. There's no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is.
Conscious? What do you mean by that?
Fine, let's hear your theory.
Remember the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delete said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes.
Unconscious? So he fainted?
Well, that's why Mr. Delete didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. Wait, what? Like it sounded, and then it stopped sounding, and then he woke up, and then it stopped sounding, and then... Okay.
So what are you trying to say?
Mr. Delete was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. Well, that's right. Whoever it was knocked out Mr. Ron Delete and pressed the buzzer.
Order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is...
This is preposterous. It was that kid. Ron Delete is the one who killed Cade Bullard.
And then who pressed the buzzer?
It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button.
So Cade Bullard sounded the buzzer himself.
But why would he do that if he was expecting...
What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright?
I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene, but how? Can I prove that it wasn't Cade Bullard who sounded the buzzer? Well, obviously I have to, because if I don't, then... Dun, 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 dun. Well, because there's no fingerprints on the buzzer. The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. No fingerprints, baby. I believe that this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you are looking for.
The emergency buzzer?
I like how we give him some British accent.
Is there some kind of clue on it?
Absolutely not.
Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth.
The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue.
Now I'm the one who's clueless.
This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind.
Ron Delete obviously wiped them off.
Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment.
He touched the button. I know he did.
The defendant, Mr. Delete, was dressed as Master Mask. And Master Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have to wipe the button free of fingerprints? Wait. Wait, I'm trying to understand that. Yeah, okay, I get it.
Order, order, order!
It would seem... I've been forced to eat crow.
I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is.
However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer?
To frame Ron Delete.
Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden?
It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks.
They're on to you, Nick.
Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts.
The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delete just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, correct? The killer clobbered Mr. Delete and then sounded the buzzer. Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed. Security was supposed to respond.
Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say.
Very well, then.
Oh, you've got some guts. I like that in an opponent.
Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer?
Well, okay, my thought is to call the security guard because they knew it was Larry. If the shadow we saw in the flash when Ron Delete got knocked out was Luke, then that would mean he knew that Larry is probably the other security guard. And if Larry found, well, this could be two ways. If Larry ran up and found Ron, then he'd be like, okay, I know it's, well, but also maybe he knew Larry wasn't gonna respond. Maybe he knew Larry.
Ah, jeez.
Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? If we assume it's Luke, they didn't mean to. That wouldn't make any sense. Why would they not mean to sound the alarm? Okay, so it's a 50-50 shot between to call the security guard and to find out what it did. It's not going to be to find out what it did. It's to call the security guard. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted.
Do you mean to say that the killer called the guard on purpose?
Yes, although, as it turned out, he never showed up. Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time. What? Clock cleaned?
Ah, what a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in?
Nope. No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron DeLeet, who was out cold. And the real killer. And the 3rd person, the real killer. Okay, so it's Luke Atmay. It's... yeah.
Hypothetically, yes.
Now then. In this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron DeLeet. And if any security guards came running in at that time, it would look like they got into the fight. They would think that I was the murderer. Yes, was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron DeLeet for the murder. Enough with the coffee drinking.
Order, order, order.
It would seem... Oh, my God. I've been made to eat my words once again.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee. Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask, so... Nick, you mean the real killer is...
We're going to drag that person in here right now.
But who is it?
I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. DeLeet's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard.
Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright.
Who is it that framed... Okay. It's either Desiree or Luke Atmay. But are they trying to throw us off with, like, the silhouette of Luke Atmay in the... like, in that flash before he got hit? Are they trying to throw us off to make us think it's Luke Atmay when it's really Desiree? It can only be Luke Atmay or Desiree. So, hates criminals and cowards more than anything. Well, is it acknowledged that he is in fact Master Mask? Okay, so I want to get this right. I feel like, but would Desiree even be quick enough to... I guess but the thing is, she would have access to... She would know his true identity. She would know that Ron DeLeet is Master Mask. I'm not saying Luke Atmay is Master Mask. I'm saying she would know Ron DeLeet is Master Mask. She would know about the blackmail letter, because they're literally living together. So I feel like it has to be Desiree. I mean, am I wrong? I might be completely wrong, but like, if you don't want your true identity, like, why couldn't Desiree have done that? If she knows everything he's stealing, but also there's not a lot of evidence that's pointing to. But that's the thing. I feel like he would. But now I'm thinking it's Luke Atmay because they work together, and maybe they're not trying to throw me off. But then Luke is also wearing gloves, so he... Oh my god. So that would mean he would have pressed the button, because there's no fingerprints. That would mean it has to be Luke. It has to be Luke. It has to be Luke. And he has all this... Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say Luke. It's got to be Luke. Detective Luke Atmay. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace Detective Luke Atmay?
You mean Master Mask did it?
Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us, is not Master Mask after all. At all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard.
Order, Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime?
They're not even close. Murder's the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to capital punishment.
Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke Atmay confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as, well, Master Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. Oh, that's why he was laughing. Yeah, he wanted to be proven as Master Mask, because then he would get off. Yeah, okay. That was his true objective all along.
To be found guilty.
Master Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words... Oh, so maybe that was Desiree that was stealing the... Oh! Didn't I already say that was Desiree in the photo before? I said that was Desiree in the photo before. I'm almost positive I said that. I mean, I've said conflicting things, but like, okay, I think I said that before. Being found guilty as Master Mask was Luke Atmay's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi.
A guilty verdict. As an alibi?
You know, it's almost time.
For what?
For Luke Atmay's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial, after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course, that's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder.
Mr. Luke Atmay's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delete would be left with no grounds for appeal.
Am I really sure about this? A bet's only good when your life's the ante. Mr. Wright, I believe in you. Mr. Delete. So please, I'm begging you. Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Phoenix. What was that? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. That voice. It sounds like... Mia. Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. So that's your answer, huh?
Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atmay to the stand.
Yes, Your Honor. I think the voices I'm doing are wearing on my esophagus, my my throat. Oh, we got what's his name, Payne.
Well, Sir Detective Atmay.
I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly.
Oh no, Sir Detective Atmay. You were the one who...
Oh, this is a new judge. What voice? That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. The court finds the defendant, Luke Atmay. Hold it. Wait! Wait. Don't hand your verdict down. Don't hand down your verdict yet, please.
Well, Sir Lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom.
Who's this hoser, eh?
Is he Canadian?
My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Atmay.
Accusation? You mean Master Mask?
That man is not Master Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? I should give him a Canadian accent. What? What? I gotta think of that. Oh, jeez. Okay. October 14th, 12:14 p.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 4. See you when I see you guys. Bye.